everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I am doing a very exciting book review, and that is for The Odyssey by Homer. First of all, this is the translation by Emily Wilson. I've had this book and I haven't even really picked it up or tried to read it or anything. I wanted to read the Iliad first, and I have a different translation of the Iliad. I have it in the Wordsworth Classics, but this translation uses the Roman versions of the gods' names, and considering it's a Greek poem, I wanted it to have the Greek versions, and especially first time reading it, you know, I kind of wanted it to be as close as could to original. It'd be different if it was written by like a Roman poet. Anyway, so I haven't read the Iliad, and I'm still trying to find a copy of it. But anyway, the biggest thing I could say about this book, and I feel like it makes zero sense, so let me know, but when I was reading this book, it gave me the same feelings as like a warm hug, you know? Like just a comforting hug. This has so much like lying, tricking, violence, sex scandal, all of that. So, you know, to read about someone being murdered and me being like, a hug. Like, I don't think I necessarily make sense with that, but genuinely that is how I felt. What's really cool about how long I've owned this book is when I shop in stores, back when you could, I would always keep the receipts for the books. I don't know, I use them as the bookmarks, but I like to look back at them and kind of remember when I bought the book and see what books I got with it and whatnot. I actually got this book on my birthday 2 years ago, so I think it's just kind of perfect that without realizing that, I decided to pick it up this month. The Odyssey follows the Iliad. The Iliad is the Trojan War. It's not the retelling, it's the original telling of the Trojan War, and Odysseus is a main proponent to that. So this, the Odyssey, is Odysseus' travels home. The Trojan War lasted 10 years, but through just a lot, Odysseus' journey home also lasted 10 years. And you see him go through all of these experiences, him as the storyteller, saying about each of them that has happened. I love the beginning line. It says, "Tell me about a complicated man. Muse, tell me how he wandered and was lost, when he had wrecked the holy town of Troy, and where he went and who he met, the pain he suffered on the sea, and how he worked to save his life and bring his men back home." And just, oh, I love that. I love it. I also just adore how they described dawn, whenever it talked about dawn rising and her rosy fingertips. Here we go. It says, "When dawn came, born early, with her fingertips like petals." That's so beautiful to me. Just every time dawn was mentioned, I was like, oh, like it was so nice. It was the epitome, so poetic and beautiful. You can picture that exact moment of rosy dawn, and to me it was just stunning. I adored Emily Wilson's translation. She is working currently on a translation of the Iliad. From what I can tell, there's no news of like any release date, so I think it's still in project mode. But I cannot wait till she brings that out, because I will be getting it to read, because this was just, it was so beautiful and perfect. If you've been reading like Greek myth retellings but haven't read the originals, like I was really daunted thinking about the Iliad and the Odyssey, but genuinely I flew through this. Like I flew through this book way faster. I thought it would take me the whole month to kind of pick through. I thought it'd be a really like dry, heavy read, but it wasn't. It was adventure, it was romance, it was, like I said, scandal, violence. And it was so cool to see, like, having read multiple retellings of the Iliad, to see characters from there in this and see them after the Iliad, and just, yeah, like, I don't want to give anything away, and I'm having a lot of trouble not doing that. I'm having a lot of trouble, because I definitely knew about where Odysseus went and what his adventures were, and I had an idea of that. I knew the groundwork of that, but his son and the adventure he goes on in search of news for his father. No, Telemachus, like his adventure he goes on and the people he meets is really, really interesting, and I highly enjoyed that part as well. You can just see it all, and what more could you want? So I gave this book 5 stars. I think it was worth every single one of them, and yeah, genuinely, I will reread this, and I can't wait. It's just one that you just, it becomes a special one, you know? It becomes a special one. So anyway, I highly recommend this book in general. I highly recommend Emily Wilson's translation of it. It was beautiful. It put it into more modern tongue, but still, I don't know, it used more modern words, but she formatted it in a way that it was still said old-fashioned, and it still had that poetic way about it, which is really what I loved. It seemed very true to what it would have been. So I do really recommend this. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've read this book, well, let me know what your thoughts were. As well, if you have any recommendations for translations of the Iliad, please let me know. If you want to like, comment, and subscribe, I'd really appreciate that. And until then, I will see you in my next video. Stay safe and take care. Bye.